Hello everybody, my name is Tommy and we are building my Roblox map. So this is a speed build. Right now I'm adding the dirt texture underneath each tree just to create more realism. Right now I'm building the forest on my Roblox map, and adding dirt texture underneath trees just add more realism. So that's what I'm doing right now at this point. And working on the swamp, I decided to add some old shed. And you will be able to access this part of the swamp. But man, I just love how I made this swamp. It just turned out so good. And yeah, so we're just gonna add some creepy elements to it. So creepy lighting just really kind of helps to sell it. And don't forget about the dirt. And I'm just adding all the willows and the dead trees, stuff that you would find in a swamp. And right now, I am working on the grass. I'm just kind of doing some experiments and just kind of, I'm not really sure how I wanted this to turn out, but it didn't really look good when I added grass all around like that. So, and right now, me and Rip Brandon are adding some Five Nights at Freddy's. We're working on the Five Nights at Freddy's theater. That's in my room. And yes, we are using free assets. The whole idea was to just replicate my home as best as I could. So yeah, just kind of watch me as I add cattails and just detail the swamp. Oh yeah, hahaha. Yeah, I've hit a little reference there. Ever wonder what happened to Balloon Boy? Yeah, that's our little secret, by the way. And by the way, this swamp is going to have something to do with the game. Oh, and then there's the fog effect. So I kind of got this name idea, Missed the Time, from Monkey Island. I kind of just really like the idea of a swamp or a natural place that has effect on of time, or being used for time travel, being lost in a mist and just arriving in a different time. I just kind of thought, that'd be so cool, and just to be able to see different variations of my house as we were growing along. Right now you're in the modern, you're in the present, which is basically my present collection. But if we were to drown, or something travel into the swamp, or then we could arrive in a different map back to when I first started, or something like that. Just kind of an idea, but I'm going to make use of that. But it's really important to add dead trees and just really kind of sell it, add some creepy lighting, and there are... So yeah, we're kind of working on the house while I'm actually working on natural environments. Yeah. Love how I turned this place into some sort of a place of mystery. And then there is a gate going to be added in the front there, which you will see here really soon. And so right now I am going to be working on the idea that I thought maybe we could do some escape room sort of things, and this Mr. Time swamp could be related to something that Flowey did in one of his escape rooms. So right now I'm getting ready to build the gate. This is how I originally had it. I was just gonna leave it open, but now I just need to have a gate. It just looked more mysterious and more intriguing that way. Mr. Time swamp. So be sure to check out my Roblox map if you want to be able to explore it. It's still being tested. I'm not sure how many bugs are in there. So right now I'm doing all this work in the swamp and the forest. The swamp and the forest took probably at least a week and a half for me to make. Then I also did a little bit of work on the inside. But right now I'm working on the gate, trying to sell this. But I have a couple of volunteers helping me out here. Oh yeah, now I originally was just gonna line the whole area with just tall grass. I wanted to hide the edge of the map, but in the end I just didn't really like how it turned out. And we used the daylighting just so we can actually see what we're doing. So the tall grass looks okay, but you know, it just seemed out of place. Oh yes, and this is actually Rip Brandon was just adding a reference to Boxy Boo's escape room. So that's what he's doing right now. I'm gonna just still working on that gate and just trying to hide the edge of the map. I don't really like what it looks like with the grass, so I ended up changing all that, which you will see. And just kind of detail my flower bed. I do actually have a little bit of a fence there. Then we gotta add some puppets into my bedroom along with the lighting. Oh yes, and then the Ink Scare Studios. This is the bendy shed, and I really like how this one turned out. You're gonna see me build this. So this is what I did first. Now I have to delete the window. So I did actually modify some of the assets, as you can see here, like painting them, changing the color, just kind of modifying. I know how to modify assets. I'm pretty good at that. Alright, you can see I'm just painting the railings on my deck. Yes, and then the doors. My goodness, I had such challenge with the doors. Oh yeah, I gotta add the shutters to the windows. You know, just kind of detailing my house a little bit more from the outside. I decided to ditch the sign in the end, the Ink Scare sign. So right now, I am actually adding the gutters to the house. I had a hard time finding the right one that I wanted to do. But once I found it, yeah, it's all there. Oh, wait, no, these aren't gutters. This is the trim. Yeah, the trim took at least, a couple of hours anyway to add trim to all the outside and then the insides of the house. That was a great deal of work. Like I said, I had a lot of trouble with the doors. But I finally got it to work the way I wanted to. And yes, we do have a bit of a trough. This is where the gutters flush the rain out. And adding trim, yeah, it just really helps the detail and just sell the house a little bit. I mean, I'm not selling my house, but I will eventually. Now, Farty Gardy put that little figure outside the Puppet Lab, which is actually a reference to Intruder. Since I've played that several times. Okay, now here I am modifying the gazebo. Watch what I do here. So I'm going to turn it into the gazebo that I have at home. So yeah, that's kind of how you can build structures. You can modify it. I kind of use this gazebo like a skeleton. Or like a framework, I guess. But you have to kind of think of it. And then there's a car honking outside. Okay. So right now, they're just gonna be painting the gazebo in just a moment here. There we go. The boardwalk. Now this is something else that I really love having. We had a really beautiful boardwalk. Oh yeah, and we got to add in a fireplace on the inside. I originally was going to have it outside, but I have it as raining right now. And right now we're just adding some more puppets to the bedroom here. Just painting Chocobo. The Chocobo asset was actually white, so I colored it. Just adding my dream catchers. I do have a small collection of dream catchers. My mom made a few. I love this purple dream catcher. I want it so badly. It is just gorgeous. So now I'm just scattering debris all over the forest and planting, just adding some grass and vegetation just to make it look like an actual forest. I mean, I went to school for this stuff. I've studied forestry. I know what natural habitats look like. I went to school for this. So it's nice that my schooling actually paid off on this map. And not to mention all the times I played Microsoft 3D Movie Maker, because man, they lacked a lot of scenes in that game, so I had to build my own scenes with the props. So this is very similar to what I was doing. And not to mention Minecrafting also helped a lot with experience. And I believe the next step is, okay, so right now I'm testing the map, just playing it, making sure everything works. There have been a lot of bugs. And you probably will still find a few. Oh yeah, I love the eyes that I put out there. It's just so cute. Oh yeah, just scattering the eyes, just kind of make it look like there's actual life in the forest, or it's just kind of creepy and atmosphere. So I decided to ditch the whole grass thing like I said earlier, and I used fern. Because fern is actually makes more sense, especially where my grandparents lived. There's ferns everywhere with a big, beautiful forest. So I wanted to kind of replicate that out in Madge Lake. And that little swamp is supposed to be a reference to a swamp that we used to have in Kirkville at the old home, which I still miss. So yeah, I kind of took a piece of every little place that I lived at, that's kind of dear to me, and put it onto this map. That's kind of what I envision here. But man, I love swamps, especially the smell. Like, that's the smell of pure nature. It just doesn't get more natural than that. Yeah, ferns are my grandma loved ferns a lot. So yeah, this kind of. Oh, and I gotta add my house plants. I have 3 house plants, almost a year old. They're still alive and growing well. So now it's time to add all the furniture inside this house, and adding curtains and couches and such. And you'll see the dummy that I used just for size references, because I didn't know how big to make something. Then we added the heat registers, and then we just added all that other extra detail. I spent a lot of time adding furniture. I did help them help with it too. I want to thank my volunteers for helping. Thank you. And there's that mirror on the wall, and that kind of have flowers sitting on there. My little bookshelf. The cat and dog statues, actually, they're statues, memory statues for my dog and cat. I had a hard time finding the dog statues, so I kind of had to modify an asset, which I just did there. I was going to add an angel statue, but I decided, nah, it's less is more in this case. Oh yeah, and then there's that singing bowl too. I have a singing bowl. I'm a spiritual person. That's kind of like my spiritual shelf. Oh yeah, and that's where I'm sitting right now, technically, talking to you while I'm editing this video. But that's what that's supposed to be. Then I have my little exercise machine. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to give you a little time lapse of me working on the map, just to show you how much work went into it and kind of what I did there. Hopefully you got some inspirations and maybe you learned a thing or two. Alright, like I said, this is my very first map, so thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.